Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a really specific request we've gotten from a lot of you, your experienced users, and you've asked for the absolute fastest way to get to mastery in Google Vids.
And we are here to deliver. This is the Power User cheat sheet.
It is. And this deep dive is a little different because we're not starting from scratch.
Not at all. We're working on the assumption that you, our listener, already get the fundamentals of visual communication.
Right. You've used Google Slides, so you understand layout, you get hierarchy.
And you've probably dabbled in something like iMovie or maybe InShot on your phone, so you understand what a timeline is, how clips work together. That's the basic logic.
We're calling that your 70% head start. You've got the mechanics down.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to just completely skip the beginner stuff.
We're jumping right over the first couple hours of tutorials.
And we're focusing entirely on that last 30%, the generative leap. That's the AI automation layer that really, it's what makes Vids a totally different beast from other editors.
And that 3% is all about the late 2025 features. We're talking about the full power of Gemini being integrated, the motion capabilities of VO 3.1, and this new aesthetic engine, Nano Banana Pro.
It's a funny name.
It is, but it's powerful. And the key is, if you come at Vids like a traditional editor, you're going to be fighting it the whole time.
You'll struggle.
You will, but if you make that mental shift and see it as a generative asset engine, you get exponentially faster.
And it's the perfect time to be doing this. There was a huge change just confirmed this month, November 2025.
A really big one.
Google has made a bunch of the advanced Gemini features. We're talking high-quality AI voiceovers, transcript trimming, which is a game changer.
Oh, a total game changer.
And they've made them free for anyone with a personal Gmail account.
Which is huge. That puts professional-grade automation in everyone's hands. It really levels the playing field against some of the, the expensive desktop software.
It does.
But the context here, it's everything. Vid's real advantage isn't a slightly better tool here or there. It's the fact that it's native to the workspace ecosystem.
It's not a standalone app.
Exactly. It talks to docs, it talks to slides, it talks to sheets. And that's what unlocks the kind of automation we're going to get into. We're not just talking about making one video. We're talking about systems that can create videos for you, triggered by, say, an update to a spreadsheet.
Okay, let's do it. Let's unpack this acceleration plan. We're going to start in part 1, building that mental map, bridging that 70% you already know to the Vids interface.
Right. This first phase is really all about cognitive economy. We don't want you wasting brain power learning things you already know.
Connecting the dots.
Exactly. We want to spend maybe 15 minutes of your practice time just mapping your existing skills. Once you see the interface is just a smart remix of tools you've already mastered, that learning curve just completely flattens. Hashtag tagged hashtag 1.1 mapping existing skills to the Vids interface.
So you open Vids for the first time, maybe from Drive or the Workspace Launcher. What you see right in the middle is the canvas. And if you spent any time at all in Google Slides, this should look, well, it should look like home.
It should feel incredibly familiar. The center canvas is, for all intents and purposes, a slide from a presentation deck.
Functionally identical.
Almost one-to-one. You click on a text box, and the formatting toolbar that pops up, it's the Slides toolbar. You know how to align text, change fonts, make something bold in Slides. You already know how to do it in Vids.
Drag and drop, resizing.
All of it. The layering, sending things to the back, bringing them to the front. It's the exact same muscle memory.
Okay, so the first action for anyone starting out should just be to confirm that. Don't even use the AI yet.
Exactly. Just go in and manually create a scene, add a shape from the menu, drop in a text box, upload an image.
Just build a slide, basically.
You're just building a slide. And in that one action, you prove to yourself that your design skill from Slides is directly transferable.
So a Vids scene is just a slide with a duration.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's a slide that has been given a length and time. And that's where your iMovie or your InShot knowledge kicks in. That's the bottom timeline.
Right, the timeline.
Yeah.
It looks like a normal nonlinear editor and NLE. And I could see that being a little confusing for people coming from, say, Premiere or Final Cut. What's the core difference here?
That's the crucial mental shift. In a traditional editor, you're working with raw video files. You are constantly looking for the razor tool to slice things up, to cut out the bad bits. You're a film cutter.
Okay.
In Vids, you don't really do that. You treat the clips on your timeline as scenes, these solid structured blocks. They have a start, an end, and a set duration.
So if I want to make a scene shorter, I shouldn't be hunting around for a tool to cut in the middle.
No, you shouldn't. In fact, you really shouldn't, because that can break the sync with the script and the voiceover, which is the magic we'll get to in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Editing length is almost always done by just grabbing the edge of the scene block and dragging it. The
Yeah.
standard trim function. You're making the block itself shorter or longer. You're changing the time the scene is on screen, not chopping up the footage inside it.
So let me just recap the mental map. The middle canvas is my design space, just like Google Slides.
Your canvas.
Yes. The bottom timeline is for timing. And I'm treating scenes like blocks that I stretch or shrink. I'm a time manager, not a film splicer.
You've got it. That's the 70% right there, locked in. Now we can move on to how Vids wants you to start a project, which is your first real step into that powerful generative 30%.
Right. Because traditional video editing, it starts with a folder full of video clips, right?
Yeah.
You import all your assets, your music, your photos, and then you try to wrestle them into shape to fit a script.
A script you may have written separately, or maybe you're just winging it. Vids flips that on its head. It's a content-first tool. It works best when you give it a goal, or better yet, a document. It needs context to do its magic. If you don't give it context, it's just going to give you generic stock footage.
Okay, let's break down the two main ways an experienced user should be starting a project. The first is option A, the full AI launch, using that little Gemini Sparkle icon.
This is your power move for creating something new. You get the Help Me Create prompt box, and a beginner might just type, a video about marketing.
And get something generic back.
Exactly. The power user does something very different. The first thing you type is the @ symbol.
Ah, the magic command.
It is. That @ symbol brings up your Google Drive. It lets you attach a Google Doc, a link to a sheet, a PDF, whatever source material you have.
And what happens when Vids gets that document? What's it doing in the background?
It's using Gemini to read and understand that source material. So if you give it a 10-page quarterly report, it will read it, summarize the key points, write a script for you, break that script down into logical scenes, and then it populates the entire timeline automatically.
It just does it all.
It does the entire first draft. It completely skips that whole painful process of trying to distill a dense document down into a snappy script.
That is, honestly, that's revolutionary for anyone in a corporate setting who's been told to make a video out of this white paper. That's always the hardest part.
It's hours of work just gone. And that brings us to option B, which is for when you already have some visual assets. We call it the slides to video pipeline.
So say I already have a really polished slide deck, maybe for an investor meeting or training session.
You don't have to start over. You just open that presentation in Google Slides, you go up to the File menu, and there's a new option there. Create video with Vids.
And what does that do?
It's an instant conversion. It takes every single one of your slides and turns it into a dedicated scene block on the Vids timeline.
With all the content.
All the text, all the images, the structure, the layout, it's all mapped directly. So you're not starting with a blank canvas. You're starting maybe 80% of the way done. All you need to do is tweak the timing and maybe inject some of those cool generative visuals we'll get to later.
But it seems like no matter which way you start, with a doc or with a slide, the quality of the final product really comes down to how well you instruct the AI.
Yeah.
We have to talk about prompt quality.
Oh, absolutely. This is critical. A lazy prompt gets a lazy result. Think about the difference.
The bad prompt.
The bad prompt is something vague, like make a video about sales. And Vids will give you the most painfully generic, stock footage-heavy video you've ever seen.
Shaking hands, a graph going up.
A smiling person in a headset, you know the one. It's completely forgettable.
Because you didn't give it any constraints, so the AI just defaults to the most common denominator.
Exactly. The pro prompt is the opposite. It provides specific constraints.
Okay, so what are the key ingredients for a pro prompt?
It really needs 4 things. The example in our source material is perfect. Create a 1-minute recap of attached PDF with an energetic tone focusing on Q3 metrics.
Let's break that down.
Okay, number 1, context. That's the attached document using the @ symbol. Number 2, duration, a hard constraint, 1 minute.
Okay.
Number 3, tone or mood. Here it's energetic. And finally, number 4, focus. Specific keywords like Q3 metrics.
So by giving it all of that, you're not just telling it what to talk about, you're telling it how to talk about it, for how long, and in what style.
Precisely. And that helps it generate much more relevant visuals. It knows to look for charts and data points, not just, people in an office.
That's the big mindset shift for this first phase then. You are not an editor of clips. You are a director of a content engine.
That is the perfect way to phrase it. And that idea of directing the content, which then directs the timing, that's the perfect pivot to part two. This is where the real aha moment happens for most people.
Okay, this is phase 2. We think you should dedicate about 30 minutes of serious practice to this part, because this is where you leverage the AI director. This is where Vids stops being a clone of other editors and really becomes its own thing.
Yeah, we have to start by acknowledging the pain we're solving. Think about any traditional NLE Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut. What's the workflow?
And you write a script, you record your voiceover,
Yep.
and then you spend hours, maybe days, meticulously cutting your video clips to match the timing of your voice.
The video always serves the audio. The audio track is king, and it's inflexible.
And Vids just throws that whole idea out with
It
that.
completely reverses it. The core, the absolute #1 differentiator of Vids is that the audio, or more specifically the text of the script, is the master controller. It dictates the pacing of the entire visual timeline.
If the script changes, the video changes.
Automatically, the visuals obey the script.
Okay, let's get practical. Let's talk about transcript-based trimming. This is what you called the magic workflow, editing in that script panel on the right sidebar. Tell us exactly how this saves so much time.
Okay, think about a normal script revision. You go into the script tab in Vids, which is basically just a text editor. You find a sentence and you rewrite it. Maybe you make it twice as long or you cut it in half.
Yep.
The moment you do that, Vids instantly calculates the new reading time for that new text and the corresponding scene block on your timeline. It automatically stretches or shrinks to match that new time.
So wait, if I have a scene about Q1 metrics and I realize I'm rambling, I just go into the script, shorten the paragraph.
And the scene block on the timeline just snaps to the new shorter length.
I don't touch the timeline at all.
You don't touch it. No more trying to figure out if you need to speed up the clip by 1.3x to make it fit. The timing is governed by the words, but that's not even the biggest time saver.
Okay.
The real power move, the one that experienced editors will immediately understand, is the instant ripple delete.
Let's compare the workflows. In my old editor, if I wanted to cut an entire sentence from my narration, I'd have to listen, find the exact start point, make a cut with the razor tool.
Then find the end point, make another cut.
Right. Then select that little piece in the middle, delete it, and then manually select everything else on the timeline and drag it over to close the gap.
It's at least 3 or 4 distinct steps, and if you mess up closing the gap, you've desynced your whole project.
So how does Vids do it?
In Vids, you just go to the script panel, you highlight the sentence you want to remove, like you're in a Google Doc,
Yep.
and you hit the backspace key.
Yeah.
That's it. Vids performs that entire 4-step process instantly. It cuts the corresponding video and audio, and this is the critical part. It performs an instant ripple delete, closing the gap perfectly. Nothing ever gets desynced.
That's the difference between a minute of fiddly, annoying work and half a second of deleting text.
Exactly. Now imagine you're editing a 20-minute training video. You might make 100 of those little edits. That's hours of your life back. You're editing a document, and a professional video edit is happening in the background.
Okay, and there's one more piece to this speed puzzle. The cleanup button. You find it under the magic wand icon.
Right. This tackles the most tedious part of audio editing. Verbal filler.
The ums, the ahs, the you-knows.
All of it. And the long, awkward pauses people take when they're thinking. In a normal NLE, removing those memes, zooming way into the audio waveform, finding that little half-second blip of sound, cutting it out, and doing that manual ripple delete.
Over and over and over again.
You might do it 50 times in a 5-minute recording. The cleanup button automates that entire process.
How does it work?
You just click it once. The AI scans the audio track, identifies all of those filler words and the long silences based on its training, and it just cuts them all out at once. And it perfectly closes all the gaps.
So you get a clean, tight, professionally paced audio track with one click.
Yes. For anyone looking for pure speed, especially for internal comms or training, that feature alone is almost enough to justify switching. It shifts your focus from being a mechanic to being a storyteller. You're fixing the message, not the timing. Hashtag tag 2.2, audio automation in Polish.
And this generative leap goes deeper into the audio, right? It's not just about trimming.
Not at all. It's also about polish and generation.
We mentioned that the AI voiceovers are now available to everyone. So let's say I've written my script and I select the deep and calm AI persona to read it for my video. How does Vids keep everything in sync when that narration is generated?
It follows that same golden rule we talked about. The script is the master. Vids calculates exactly how long it will take for that specific AI voice to read your text.
Because different AI voices might have different pacing.
Precisely. And once it knows that time, it dictates that time to the timeline. So any visual scenes you've already placed will automatically stretch or shrink to perfectly match the length of that generated voiceover.
So even if the AI reads it slightly faster or slower than I imagined, my visuals will never drift out of sync.
They can't. It's impossible by design. The script is the anchor for everything. It completely eliminates that nightmare of trying to time stretch or speed ramp clips to fit a pre-recorded audio track.
Okay, now let's talk about a hidden gem. This is one of those things that really separates a casual user from a power user. Smart ducking.
Ah, yes. This is a feature that replaces a very manual, very professional audio mixing technique called keyframing.
So first off, where do you even find it? You mentioned it's kind of hidden.
It is a bit tucked away. You have to add your background music track to the timeline first. Then, instead of looking in the main settings, you have to physically right-click on the music track itself in the timeline. That brings up a special audio submenu.
And in there, there's a little checkbox for smart ducking.
That's the one.
So explain what keyframing is, the traditional process this replaces. Why is this so valuable?
In a professional audio mix, you want the music to be present, but you need it to get quieter whenever someone speaks so you can hear the narration clearly.
Right.
The manual way to do that is with keyframes. You have to go through the timeline and manually place little volume markers, or keyframes. You'd add a marker to turn the volume down right before the voiceover starts, and another one to turn it back up right after the voiceover ends.
And for a normal video, you could be doing that dozens of times.
Easily.
Huh?
For a 3-minute video with lots of short narration clips, you could be placing 50, maybe 100 individual keyframes. It's slow, it's tedious, and it's easy to get wrong.
And smart ducking just does all that.
It does it all.
Yeah.
You check that box, and the AI automatically detects every segment where there's a voice, whether it's an AI voiceover or one you recorded, and it dynamically lowers the background music volume just for that segment.
And when the voice stops.
The music seamlessly swells back up to its normal volume. It gives you a perfect, clean, professional-sounding audio mix with one click. It's a massive, massive time saver that adds a huge amount of polish.
That's really the theme of this whole deep dive, isn't it? Finding the automation layers that replace hours of manual work. Okay, we've mastered the script, we've mastered the audio. Let's pivot to the visuals. And now we're in phase 3. This is another 30-minute practice block, and it's all about visuals. Specifically, how to use the new generative models to create stuff that looks expensive and unique and get away from that generic stock photo look.
This is so critical. This generative power is Vid's biggest advantage over traditional NLE. Why would you go out to Midjourney or some other tool when the Beth models are baked right in? But it's important to understand their different roles. Hashtag 3.1, moving beyond stock footage with VO 3.1 and Nano Banana Pro.
Okay, let's be explicit about the players here. We have two models working together, VO 3.1 and Nano Banana Pro. What's the division of labor?
Think of it this way. VO 3.1 is the motion engine. It's the director of photography. It handles anything that requires movement, consistency over time, and a sense of 3D space.
So generating a clip of a car driving down the street.
Exactly. Or creating a virtual camera move, like a slow pan or a zoom. That's VO. Nano Banana Pro is the art director. It's the specialist for high-fidelity still images, complex graphic design, textures, and blending different artistic styles.
So VO handles the what happens, and Nano Banana handles the how it looks.
That's a great way to put it. And the recent updates to both mean the quality is just, it's night and day compared to older models.
You don't get those weird mushy artifacts anymore.
Far less often. Older models would give you people with 6 fingers or lighting that flickers unnaturally from one frame to the next. VO 3.1 is specifically designed for motion consistency. If you generate a clip of someone walking, their clothes and the shadows don't just randomly change mid-stride.
Okay, so let's talk about a practical feature that uses this new power. Photo to video generation. This lets us move beyond just text prompts.
This is a fantastic tool for anyone creating internal content. Instead of trying to describe your new office lobby in a prompt, you can just give the AI a picture of it.
How does that work? You just upload a photo?
Yep. You select a scene, you go to the media generation panel, and you upload a reference photo. It could be a picture from your phone of a new product or a screenshot of your software.
And then you still have to give it a prompt.
Yes, but it's a motion prompt. You're combining your static image with a command for the camera. You'd upload your photo and then prompt something like, slow pan right, cinematic lighting, 4K.
And VO takes that static photo.
And it generates a 4 or 5 second moving video clip. It creates the illusion of a camera physically moving across that space, and it adds the lighting you asked for, all while keeping the core elements of your original photo intact.
So I could take a simple picture of our factory floor and turn it into a clip that looks like it was shot with a professional camera on a dolly track, without ever leaving my desk.
Precisely. And crucially, thanks to VO 3.1, the walls and machinery in that shot won't warp or bend as the camera moves. It solves the problem of needing B-roll footage when all you have are still images. Hashtag tag tag 3.2, the NATO VO prompt formula for aesthetics.
This feels like the big turning point. To get professional results, you have to stop asking for subjects and start asking for aesthetics. This is how you art direct the AI.
Yes. We need to give you a structure for this, a formula. The AI is now so sophisticated it understands artistic intent. Asking for a man in an office gets you stock photo junk. Asking for a specific style gets you art.
Okay, let's commit this to memory. This is the 5-part formula for high-end generative design. It's art medium style,
Plus subject action.
plus lighting and atmosphere,
Plus color palette.
and finally, the technical spec.
Let's break those down. The first one, art medium, is the one most people forget. Everyone defaults to photorealistic. But to stand out, you need to think differently.
Like what?
Instead of a photo, try asking for an isometric 3D render that gives you that clean, stylized, almost diagram-like look that's huge in tech explainers. Or get creative. Ask for a risograph print or even claymation. Nano Banana Pro is brilliant at these complex textures.
Okay, next up is lighting and atmosphere. This controls the mood. Good lighting is a useless prompt.
Totally useless. You need to use cinematic language. Try volumetric lighting that gives you those beautiful, hazy light rays cutting through a room. Or go for drama with harsh noir shadows. Even something like bioluminescent glow can instantly change the entire feel of a visual.
And the last part of the formula, the technical spec. This is how you signal to the AI that you want high quality.
Right. Always ask for 8K resolution to get the most detail, but also use terms that control the composition. Macro lens will give you an intense, detailed close-up. Or my favorite, nulling photography, which is that style of objects arranged in perfect, neat grids and shot from above. It's perfect for anything about organization or process.
Now, there's a very specific pro tip for Vids users. We're often putting text over these images, and a busy generated image can make text impossible to read.
This is the #1 mistake beginners make. They generate this gorgeous, complex image, and then their text overlay just gets lost in the noise.
So how do you prevent that?
You have to tell the AI to leave room for your text. You have to add phrases like negative space or minimalist background or clean backdrop into your prompt. This forces the AI to intentionally create a calm, empty area in the frame, which is perfect for your text. You're not just asking for a picture, you're asking for a piece of graphic design. Hashtag tag 3.3 style-specific prompt examples.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Let's run through some practical examples for different use cases.
Perfect. Let's start with the most common. Corporate and minimalist. This is for your quarterly updates, data explainers, internal comms. The goal is clean and professional.
So we use that 3D render style, something like isometric 3D glass morphism icon of a data server, floating on a clean white background, soft blue and purple gradient lighting, 8K.
See how specific that is? Glass morphism gives it that modern, semi-transparent look. It just screams tech and professionalism.
Or for a process, you'd use that nulling prompt. Nulling photography of modern office supplies, arranged neatly on a matte gray surface, top-down view, high-fidelity texture.
It visually communicates organization before you even said a word.
Okay, next category. Warm and human. This is for HR initiatives, company culture, wellness topics. We need it to feel approachable.
Here, we focus on lighting and film styles. So instead of a corporate office shot, you'd prompt cinematic, candid shot of a diverse team collaborating, warm, golden hour sunlight streaming through windows, soft focus background, 35mm film grain style.
That golden hour in film grain just instantly makes it feel warmer, more human, less like stock footage.
Exactly.
What about bold and creative? Pitch decks, product announcements, things that need to grab attention.
This is where you can have fun with high contrast and drama. Like the example, neon noir, cyberpunk city street at night, wet pavement reflections, pink and blue neon signs, atmospheric fog, high contrast.
That's all about mood. It creates an entire world with one image.
It does. Or you can lean into graphic design styles like pop art, halftone pattern background, vibrant cyan and magenta dots, retro comic book style. You're giving Nano Banana a very specific artistic reference to copy.
And finally, industrial and grit. Logistics, manufacturing, site updates, we need to show scale.
Here, the technical spec is key. Drone shot of a shipping container port at sunset, industrial scale, cinematic wide angle, dramatic lighting. Drone shot and wide angle immediately tell the AI to think big.
And then there are the nano banana specials. These are the ones that show off what the new model can really do.
Right, these are the highly specific artistic styles that older AIs just couldn't handle. Risograph print style, misaligned color layers, grainy texture, blue and red ink. That's a niche printmaking style.
Or the claymation one.
Yes, claymation style world, plasticine texture, cute characters working on a laptop. That gives you a charm and a tactile feel that is completely unique and memorable.
So that's the 30-minute practice plan. Use this formula. Stop asking for nouns, start asking for styles. That's how you get bespoke visuals without hiring a designer. Now let's get into the final part, using Vids as a system at scale.
All right, this is phase 4. This is the last 15-minute practice block, and it's for the true power user. The person who wants to stop thinking about Vids as a tool for making one video and start thinking of it as an automated part of their company's infrastructure.
This is where that workspace integration really pays off. We're moving from creating a video to building a video factory. Hashtag tag 4.1 extreme use cases. The automation layer. Okay, first use case. The hyper-personalized sales engine. The goal here is wild. Creating, say, 50 customized sales videos in just 10 minutes? How is that even possible?
It's all about connecting the dots in Workspace. You connect Google Forms or a Google Sheet to Workspace Flows, which is the automation tool, and then you connect that to Vids.
So you have a spreadsheet with a list of names. Dave from Acme Corp, Sarah from Zenith Inc.
Exactly. Workspace Flows is watching that sheet. When a new name appears, it triggers an automation. It tells Vince, hey, duplicate this video template I've made.
And what gets swapped out in the template?
The flow pulls the data from the spreadsheet and automatically changes 2 key things in the video. First, the text overlay. The generic, hello valued client text gets replaced with, hello Dave at Acme Corp.
Okay, that's cool.
But here's the magic. It also uses Gemini's text-to-speech engine to generate a brand new custom voiceover that says, the personalized script. Welcome, Dave.
So the visuals can stay the same, but the name on the screen and the name in the audio are unique for every single person.
And it happens automatically. That's personalized outreach at a scale that was impossible before.
Okay, that's insane. Next up, the living SOP, standard operating procedure. We've all seen training videos that are out of date because the software they're showing has changed.
It's a huge problem. A URI button moves, and your whole training video is now useless and confusing. Vids solves this by treating the video like a living document with version control.
So in the old world, if a button moved, I have to re-record my entire screen capture video. What's the new workflow?
You don't re-record anything. You just take a single new screenshot of the updated part of the UI. You go into your Vids project, find the scene that's out of date, and you replace the old screenshot with the new one.
But then it's just a static image.
But then you use Nano Banana Pro to animate it. You give it a prompt like, animate a mouse cursor moving to click the new button, and it generates that little animation for you on top of the screenshot.
And the really powerful part.
The really powerful part is that Vids files are just links. So if you have that video embedded in 10 different Google Docs for your training manuals, you only have to update it in one place. The source vid, the embedded video, automatically updates everywhere it's linked.
Your training materials are never out of date.
Never. It's a living asset.
Wow. Okay, next is visual podcast. Creating a professional-looking video without any camera footage at all.
This is perfect for archiving meetings or just sharing audio updates. You start with just an MP3 file from a Google Meet recording. You upload it to Vids.
Vids transcribes it.
It transcribes it, and then Gemini analyzes the transcript to identify the key topics and themes. But here's where Nano Banana Pro comes in again. It can generate what are called abstract data visualizations.
So not just a boring waveform.
No, not at all. Think animated flowcharts that build themselves as the topic is discussed, or dynamic mind maps where the bubbles pulse and grow based on the keywords being spoken. It creates a really high-end, engaging visualizer video completely automatically from nothing but an audio file.
And the last extreme use case, the virtual site visit. Solving the problem of needing a video walkthrough when all you have are photos.
This is a perfect showcase for VO 3.1's motion brush feature.
Yeah.
Say you have 10 photos of a new construction site. You upload those static JPEGs into Vids. For each photo, you use the motion brush tool to give it a command. You just tell it what you want the camera to do.
So a prompt like dolly forward camera movement, cinematic lighting.
Exactly. VO analyzes the 2D photo, understands the implied 3D space, and then generates a short 4-second clip that creates the illusion of a smooth, professional camera move. You string 10 of those together, and you've just created a full virtual tour from still images. No travel, no expensive camera crew. Hashtag 4.2 hidden power user workflow hacks.
Okay, let's get into some of the hidden tricks. We already know the transcript panel is the fastest way to edit. What's the absolute fastest way to use it?
Don't use your mouse. Don't click around. The real speed hack is the keyboard shortcut.
Which is?
It's CTRL plus Alt plus K on a PC or CMD plus Opt plus K on a Mac. That shortcut instantly jumps your cursor into the search bar for the transcript.
So you can immediately type the word you want to find and delete?
Yep. Hit the shortcut, type, hit enter, delete the sentence. The whole operation takes 2 seconds. It's the closest thing to a god mode for editing speed in Vids.
Okay, next hack. Let's go back to Nano Banana Pro.
Yeah.
We talked about generating diagrams and flowcharts, but AI is famously bad at getting text right inside images.
It is, because most models are just trying to make a pretty picture. They don't understand logic. But the late 2025 version has a hidden thinking mode.
How do you trigger it?
If you just ask for a flowchart, you'll probably get a beautiful image with garbled, nonsensical text. That's the default aesthetic mode.
So the hack is to force it to think first.
Exactly. You have to prefix your prompt. You either start it with the tag logic, or you just use the word diagram or flowchart right at the beginning of your prompt.
So something like logic. Create a 5-step user journey diagram from login to checkout.
Precisely. That prefix triggers the model's reasoning engine first. It figures out the structure and the words, then it renders the image. The result is legible text and a diagram that actually makes sense. It's a huge upgrade.
All right, what about branding? Vids defaults to Google's standard fonts, but big companies need to use their own.
Yep. And the tool for this is a little hidden. You have to go up to the File menu and find the theme builder. It's just like the one in Slides, but it's for video templates.
And in there, I can upload our corporate fonts, set our brand colors.
All of it. You set it up once in the theme builder, and then every new video you create can start with that theme, ensuring perfect brand consistency.
And there's a huge power move you can make in the theme builder to save time on the timeline itself.
This is one of my favorites. It's setting the default scene transition. Most people, when they build a video, they manually add a transition, like a cross-dissolve between every single scene.
That's hundreds of clicks.
It is. So instead, you go into the theme builder, you set your default scene transition to cross-dissolve, and now Vids will automatically add that transition between every clip you ever add to the timeline. It's a set-it-and-forget-it hack. This is an incredible amount of repetitive work. Hashtag 4.3 Essential Keyboard Shortcuts, late 2025 edition.
Okay, to really be fast, you need to live on the keyboard. What are the essentials?
The first one isn't even a command, it's a menu. The God mode menu, as we call it. Just hit Shift plus Sync.
And what does that do?
It brings up an overlay that shows you every single available keyboard shortcut for the view you're currently in. It's your instant cheat sheet.
Perfect. Now, what about navigating the timeline? We need the classic NLE shortcuts. JKL.
They're finally here, and they work perfectly. K is your play and pause button. L plays forward at normal speed. But if you tap L again, it fast forwards at 2x speed, which is great for scrubbing through a long video.
And J is for reverse.
J plays in reverse. It lets you move back and forth along your timeline with incredible speed without ever touching your mouse.
It sounds basic, but for anyone who's edited video before, that's a massive workflow improvement.
It's critical. And for the really meticulous editors, the ones who need frame-by-frame accuracy to line something up with a beat of music.
The bracket keys.
The bracket keys.
Yeah.
This guy. You select a clip on your timeline, and tapping the bracket keys will trim the start or the end of that clip by a single frame. It gives you that final, granular level of control you need for a truly polished edit.
Okay, we've covered the whole mastery path. For this last 15 minutes of practice, let's talk about making your work reusable and knowing where to go to keep learning. Hashtag 5.1 reusable assets and collaboration.
Right. After you spend all that time crafting the perfect prompt and getting that amazing visual, you don't want to have to do it all over again.
You need to save it as a template. So say I've designed the perfect intro sequence for our company videos. It's got our logo, our brand fonts, that cool isometric background we generated.
Just you have that scene exactly how you want it, you just right-click on the scene block in the timeline. There's an option that says Save as Scene Template.
And that's it.
That's it. That scene with all its animations, styles, and elements is now saved in your library. The next time you start a new project, you can just drag and drop that fully designed intro right onto your timeline. You can build a whole library of branded assets this way.
And the collaboration. This is where the workspace advantage really crushes traditional editors.
Hmm.
No more exporting huge video files.
Oh, that whole nightmare of rendering a 10 GB file, uploading it to Dropbox, sending a link, it's gone. The Vids collaboration process is instant.
You just share the link, like a Google Doc.
Exactly. Your colleague opens the link, they can watch the video in full quality right in their browser, and they can leave time-stamped comments.
So instead of an email that says, hey, around the 3-minute, 15-second mark, can you change that image?
They just pause the video at 3.15 and type their comment right there. It drops a pin directly on the timeline. As the editor, you see the comment, you click it, and it takes you to that exact frame.
It just streamlines that whole feedback loop, which is often where projects get bogged down for days.
It turns a process that took days into one that can take minutes.
Yeah.
Hashtag 5.2 top channels for continued mastery.
Okay, last thing. Vids isn't really a filmmaking tool. It's a productivity tool. So the best places to learn are not necessarily from filmmakers.
Right. You need to look at productivity and workspace experts. We've got 4 top recommendations, depending on what you need.
First, for the official word, the latest updates. You have to follow the Google Workspace official channel on YouTube.
Absolutely. Look for their Vids on Vids series. They're short, slick, 2-minute videos that show off new features. You want to pay special attention to anything tagged with VO or Nano Banana Pro because that's where the cutting-edge stuff will be.
Okay, but what if I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and I just want someone to walk me through every single button, nice and slow?
For that, you want Stuart Gold. He does incredibly detailed, comprehensive, full tutorials if you're ever thinking, where's that checkbox they were talking about? Stuart's channel is the place to go. He builds that foundational confidence.
Now, for the business-minded user, the person who's asking, how does this save me time and money?
That's Simpletivity with Scott Friesen. Scott is all about efficiency. He won't teach you creative editing. He'll teach you how to use Vids to replace a meeting or how to automate a weekly status report. It's all about the workflow and the ROI.
And finally, a slightly unexpected one, but really important for a lot of our listeners. Technology for teachers and students.
This is a fantastic resource if you're creating any kind of training or educational content. They don't just focus on the how, they focus on the why. They explain the principles of effective educational video, how to pace information, how to use text overlays so you don't overwhelm people. Essential for building those living SOPs we talked about.
So those resources, plus the practice plan we've laid out, should get you to mastery in record time. Tag outro. And there you have it. We've just walked through the entire 90-minute accelerated path to mastering Google Vids. You now have the key mental shifts you need to make.
You're abandoning the old way of editing on a timeline and embracing the transcript editor for those lightning-fast ripple deletes.
You're using that Nano VO aesthetic formula to stop getting generic stock and start generating bespoke, beautiful visuals.
And you're thinking bigger, setting up those automated workflows like the hyper-personalized video factory that can scale your communication.
You have effectively skipped the 70% of the learning curve that you already knew, and you've jumped straight into that powerful 30% generative layer that makes Vids so different.
You're not just a video editor anymore. You're an AI video director using smart prompts and clear intention to guide this incredible generative suite.
You're working faster and smarter right inside the workspace ecosystem you already use every day.
And to leave you with a final provocative thought to take with you, if this platform really does treat audio as the master script that controls all visual timing, and if the AI can truly create a polished virtual site visit from just a few static JPEGs, what is the one critical workflow in your own organization that is currently stuck in static documents or is costing you a fortune in designers and video editors that you could completely automate and transform into a living video asset that never goes out of date?